Welcome back. We're here to do the joint connection for the Twin Flame Collective. I'm getting the cards ready. Yes, we do have super chats weekly. At this point in time, we have them weekly. They're scheduled on the main page. So by clicking the bell, regardless of how many uploads I have, you will be directly notified. If you do still want to join the super chat, but you can't be there, yes, you still can ask a question. You can prepay it via YouTube or the link that I provide and ask your question in the chat. I will jot down what number super chat you are, and then I can directly answer it and you can refer back to it. We do put the names of the individuals up on the screen so you can stream forward and stream back separately. If you do have private questions and you don't really want them open to the public, you can join a YouTube membership where you can ask personal questions, and we have an in the dark super chat session as well as coaching. Now we are going to have a look at the joint connection. I'm not looking flash or anything, but we're going to have a look at the energy. So I have started pulling the cards. It's a late one for me. It's almost 8:40 p.m. here, streaming from WA. So abbreviated. Western Australia for those of you in America, or wherever you're chiming in from. Feel free to PM us and tell us where you're watching from. Morning, Dawn. How are you doing, my love? Let's take a look at this energy. Whoa, too many. Way too many. Okay, I am feeling as though the energy is becoming intense. Why do I feel that? So probably because of the Capricorn energy. I love listening to astrologers' vibrations with it. I think especially when you have particular transits, you tend to get your own spin on things, and you're like, yeah, it's a bit deeper than that. Can it do you a service? Sometimes. Sometimes it can when you dig deeper. But yeah, I'm not surprised if you're tired, Dawn. I've definitely been, it's almost like we spiritually have an upgrade. So that fatigue energy comes through. So that in our dream state, in our resting state, it's almost like you need a holiday from the holiday. I always say that. A holiday from the holiday. So the next public holiday, depending on where you are coming from in the world, you're probably thinking, oh, can't wait for that. Can't wait for that. I'll probably sleep. Let's see. Divine Feminine. Oh, you guys have got a lot on your plate. Seriously. Full steam ahead here for Divine Feminine. You're coming up with the Chariot. I get the most random songs with these sometimes. I'm getting you can go your own way, but I feel it's very assertive energy coming from Divine Feminine. I'm not necessarily feeling that you've got that huge vitality and optimism. I don't think it's like a negative frequency. I just feel it's like there's a need to move forward. There's maybe a lot on your plate. Maybe saying poo-poo to individuals, but that's more, what would the vibe be? It's like you've got a lot to do. I'm hearing the term much ado about nothing, too, at the heart of the read for Divine Masculine. Okay, let's get a ruin card. So I haven't done one in a while, and I think I was really curious as to what's going to come up for the joint connection, frequency collectively. Definitely, I feel from a karmic point of view, this is a month where some cracks in the foundation of karmic relationships are going to be shown, especially with the intensity of Pluto. It's bringing things up all the way back from 2008 and really beyond, really. But we won't go too far into that. Let's see what the ruin cast is. How are you doing, Char? Let's take a look at this. Okay, it is a reversal. What have we got? We have a reversal for the joint energy. It literally looks like a harp. I don't know why I'm getting. Okay. Odin Ash, this I do believe has something to do with Neptune, to do with our dreams, because we have fly, agar, and mushroom. Raven, Mercury, Wednesday, and the element air. And the south node at the moment is in the sign of the air sign. Advice, communication, contemplation, inspiration, authority, tradition, blessing, and verbal skills is the mundane energy of this ruin cast for the joint connection. Initiation, sacred knowledge, divine inspiration, reversed. Hi, sweet. Which it is currently, and I do think it is something that the joint connection is spiritually going through. I do believe that feminine and masculines are having upgrades in their own kind of area of life that could be causing a temporary, I wouldn't say a temporary halt, a temporary upgrade. Let's put it that way. So, if we have our own personal things going on, there is a potential that that person is internalizing things. And definitely, I do feel both parties here can be feeling that tension point. From a rebirth point of view, I'm almost picking that there's skin shedding, things moving away, the foundation and the footings feels a bit funky. Old situations, really, although we are in the shadow phase of Mercury, I still do believe when planets go direct, especially because we have the 29-degree point, what you will get from a spiritual point of view is old situations, old karmic scenario shifts really cropping up in people from the past, like a Venus or a Mercury retrograde. So it's really quite an intense wrap. Now, in reverse, and you're going to go, oh God, are we still there? And I really do think it's temporary, because I do see over the next 3 months to be a lot of forward momentum, but in the interim, it can feel very negative. It can feel very down in the dumps. So we have delusions, misunderstandings, lies, intellectual stagnation. I did say I felt like there was an upgrade on both sides. So there can be misunderstandings, especially for those of you in communication. The ruin reassures us that the answer is out there and may be revealed through inspiration, wise counsel, or a treasure of traditional wisdom. It counsels us to be still and to listen. And I did say we had an imbalance between the masculine and the feminine within our own bodies. I was having a chat to an individual who was getting a reading the other day. First time person to have a reading was one of my daughter's friends. And he did mention when he was going through a very difficult time, he said, I was quite spiritual a way back, but I was, quite confined, and I was really meditating quite a bit. And he goes, I really don't do that at the moment. And I said, that's because you're in the 3D. So what tends to happen is we disconnect from taking a moment for ourselves. So it can be too much hunter-gatherer and not enough where we're honouring our emotional needs. We're honouring our physical body needs, which could be just to have a cup of tea, to sit back, to just pause for a minute so that we can actually sense what our vibration is during that time. So I truly do believe there can be a vibrational imbalance between the yin and yang within each individual at a temporary level. And so the upgrade can be exhausting you. It's a little bit like universe giving us 3 warnings. If we're not honouring our bodies, what can happen is we get tired, don't we? So it's like, okay, you're not listening, so we're going to make you tired so you can't move. We're going to run you down. So inevitably it will happen where the balance will come, be it we are honouring it or not. Such is the humour of Odin, however, the answer to our problem may be revealed in unexpected ways. The words of a song on the radio, a fragment from an advertisement, we spot from the bus, or words shouted by a child on a playground. Definitely had that very freaky situation happen, but it was when I was working in nursing. And I was thinking about my twin at the time, and this individual who I was caring for never spoke, was, pretty much bedbound. and we were aiding this person with another carer. And this person literally turned to me and said, "It's okay, that person's talking to you. They're driving at the moment." And I knew exactly what she was talking about. And the carer next to me said to me, "What was that? This person never talks." And I went, "It's okay, I received the message." Especially because I'm quite open-minded as well. So they can come in the most unexpected ways. It is also an indication of verbal eloquence with the power of persuasion that we can utilize ourselves. Advertising is a way of exploiting the power. So being careful, like if we're having to convince somebody to see our point of view, lead by example. Try to not use your wisdom for positive things. Be very careful of the tactical responses. Reverse, the power of persuasion may be used by others to undermine our better judgment or abuse us for the same end. We must take care only to transmit and receive that of which we understand and know is to be true. Otherwise, we are aiding the misunderstanding and delusions that threatens to destroy the notion of truth. I feel spiritually, especially if you are dealing with an individual that's in a karmic relationship and you're having to constantly convince, sometimes allowing them to go into that hermit space at a very temporary level can actually aid them gaining that clarity. Just be authentic to you and know where you're going, and you'll find that that person's going to be quite inspired. And regardless of communication or not, it is a vibration and they do channel it. So it does inadvertently kind of cause that stagnation to shake up, and it does cause movement to occur. There is a change in direction here. Okay, there have been some delays. It is in January that we're going to find that this energy is going to start to really move and amp up. And I do see in the past position, there has been a lot of thought. This can be where things did become quite critical. It was like looking at the painting and the energy of the dynamic of the joint connection. There could have been some key points that maybe you were skimming over the surface. Maybe you were looking at it and it was like, okay, turning a blind eye, so to speak. And I think now you are both honoring and looking at it, even if it's completely not palatable to you. And I do think both parties are doing this. There is a realism that is coming through. There still is the dream state. There's still the desire to ascend to that next level, especially within this joint connection. But I do feel both parties at the moment can be keeping things to themselves. So although we do have the power where we can communicate, there is a need to do such, but not to manipulate. So it's being very transparent. It's being very open, especially to universe. Universe does hear you. They do listen. And sometimes they can send some very unusual recipes your way, especially because of how we actually, say to universe, okay, if you can't bring me my twin, give me somebody with their life together. And it will actually manifest. But not necessarily will it be the way you wanted it. I do think both parties here, it's like you do want to make a decision. Some of you are saying within the joint connection, especially divine feminine or whomever is now the non-runner, there is a vibration I'm getting psychically that it's like you're ready to set course, especially from your crowning energy. You're coming through with the Chariot this week. I get this feeling it's like you're setting course, you're moving forward, but there's something at an intuitive level that you're feeling there's missing information. And you kind of, maybe through your personal experiences with this, you sort of do feel as though there's unfinished business, or this person's very near and close, and some spanner in the works is going to come up. So there's a little bit of apprehension here. I do think you still would be open to it, but you definitely do have this ideal of what would need to physically change. You do want something to believe in. It's almost like give me a reason, the Pink song, just give me a reason. I think it's Pink. You're needing a reason. You also, there is the element of manipulation, and this could be patterns and habits, especially through your awakening maybe you had, that you really weren't aware of, and you did some spiritual work on it. So if you are seeing that mirror effect coming through with your twin, some of you could be feeling as though you're wanting to put your foot down in some shape or form and actually say, look, transformation change is necessary. But regardless, there also could be individuals surrounding you that you're quite wary about that are a little bit manipulative. Now, these can be family members. We have the shadow sign of Capricorn being Cancer. So it's home and it's family, and it could be mother energy. It could be a physical home environment. It could be due to a home related dynamic. There is a shift that is happening at a collective level, and I do think it relates to very, very old traditions. So you could be initially looking at this with very traditional eyes, and I do think both of you can be getting word through the grapevine. But again, some information is going to be coming towards you. I do think you're kind of worried you're going to hear something, and I think both parties are having this vibration. I do feel masculine could be looking at you online at this point in time, trying to seek you out, trying to find information. But I also feel divine feminine, there is a potential that you're doing that as well, really wanting that information, really wanting to know what you're currently dealing with, especially when it really does come down to missing information. Now, that could relate more so because some of you maybe aren't in that communication vibration. It also could be because the communication was there and it's tapped out. But there definitely is an image they're showing me, which could come across by spying. I really don't think this in a negative way. It just feels you're trying to get some closure. You're trying to get some common sense in this situation. And, that could be the reason why you're observing a situation. I do think both parties here are trying to be quite realistic, but there are some troubles really at hand here. There could be something that is very heavy. Also, the energy directly could be heavy. You could be looking at the circumstances and the time frame that this spiritual connection has taken to evolve. And some of you could be very worried about this person's capacity to handle stress, capacity to handle things. Maybe over the last previous year, they might have gone through a big upheaval. There could have been major things happening in their life where it really got them to the Ten of Swords. Some of you also, from a reference point, are looking at it and saying, look, does this person physically need to have a tower for some change to actually happen? Let's pull a clarifier. Okay. Definitely I can see a reference point where you're wanting more attention in this dynamic. This can be more care. This can be more attention. Divine feminine also is feeling very fatigued. There also could be karmics that were involved with this individual that really didn't put a lot of energy in, and it has affected the way they actually vibrate with you. Yeah, there is an old situation that's cropping up, and I think this old situation maybe has got to the kind of the ghosting energy coming through. It's almost like at an intuitive level, divine feminine knows something's up. They're making a reference to nobody can ever take from you what is truly yours. Okay. Yeah, I feel that there is a caution here. And I feel universe is saying there is a wrap up here. It is looking a little bit messy. I do feel the outcome is love. And I do feel for some reason it's almost like you're going to have patience with this circumstance. I'm hearing the term, and it's weird because it's almost like rejection is universe's protection, but I think this is a very temporary situation. I do think the old situation, especially if you have been dealing with this individual since way back when, this could be like 10, 20, 15 years, I really do think we are on the cusp of a major change here. Now, there could have been some insecurities. There could have been some inner child coming up. Some of you are wondering if this person has actually procreated with another individual. But again, it's more this brand new beginning. It's more this new chapter, and especially from a healing standpoint, where it does come to tribe and family. There could be a situation surrounding family at the moment. I'm hearing the term inheritances for some. I also feel divine feminine and masculine are both super aware that unless that shift happens, that you are directly going to refuse reconciliation. It's almost like, look, I know what I want. I know what love looks like. But, some of you are like, okay, something drastically needs to change here. Because in order for this reunion to happen, it's almost like you're having a psychic download of what would need to shift. Now, on your side, you're in the chariot energy. This can be moving forward. For some, it can be keeping your options open, looking at circumstances, wanting to have that nurturing. I do think you're going to have quite a busy month. I was going to say week, but I really think this relates to a month. This is also, for some of you, you could be dealing with a circumstance surrounding your twin that is to do with the past. This also can be an offer coming back. This could be the person maybe wanting to marry you, wanting to move into a higher state of the relationship. Maybe things were flowing well and then they halted. If the way in which this relationship broke down was due to a karmic, they are making reference to this, and there is regret of choosing a path that was not resonating with them. I do think you're quite protective of yourself at this point in time. I also feel for some of you, there could be a person of the past that came back and maybe wanted to unhash or restart or activate a connection with you. Your heart chakra. You're kind of like, okay, I'm getting into this. Is there going to be some upheaval? Is there going to be a change of plans? Is this person going to turn up at the last minute? I also feel divine feminine being a bit wary about other individuals and if that is a good idea. So for some of you, it could be this delay. Some of you could see some signs, either to do with twin or to do with a old individual that's come back. There's almost a mirroring going on, but I feel that, there's empathy. They might have the right things to say. And I do think you're being assertive. I do think that you're being careful. You're coming up and showing up as the Queen of Swords. You're giving less but wanting more. I don't think it's that you don't want to give. I think you're going in quite educated. And, you're keeping your cards close to your chest. I do feel some of you maybe have been keeping your cards close to your chest and not wanting to share information with other individuals. This could have been due to judgment or because you spiritually are trying to make up your mind about how you really feel about this at this point in time. I do think you could be cutting people out of your life. Some of you are trying to be extremely realistic. If they are in a karmic relationship, especially, I do see this is going to give you a reality check. And it doesn't feel bad. It just feels that you're looking at the trajectory differently. Okay, this battle, I do think many divine feminines may have had quite a tough road. This can be anything down to wealth, transformations, frustration, external influences. I feel a lot of you are wanting to clear the deck with that. I also feel from a frustrating point of view, potentially you can empathize with the circumstance. This could be because of a job, a family dynamic, inheritance, or some burden that this person had been dealing with. Now, this could be past tense or most recently, depending on whether you are in communication with them. But definitely they're saying that is a piece of information that I'm to give you. I do think that is shifting, but I also feel from a personal point of view, many feminines are trying to upgrade their cash flow. They're trying to recoup their cash flow. They're trying to move in. And this year, for some reason, it's almost like it's a funny vibration. It's almost like what you didn't achieve last year. You're determined. You're moving through the gate of 2024. And it's like you're very determined to get some things done. Yeah, it's like very goal orientated. Hmm. Um, oh my gosh, talk about revenge. It literally feels as though there's going to be a shift with you, Divine Feminine. It's almost like, there was a few songs I used to put out for Divine Feminine when I got psychic downloads. And I do get this feeling it's like you feel underappreciated and you really do want to feel appreciated within the connection. Now, that can be especially for those of you in communication, in reunion, and all those of you that have been single for a while. I just get the feeling that you're sort of leveling up the playing field and you have a deeper awareness of what you're wanting and definitely very, very determined. You do feel offended that the same graces weren't given to you. Some of you are feeling as though people have really used their manipulation techniques to get things out of potentially divine masculine. You're not wanting to stoop to that level. There could be a spiritual test for you in that energy for that to be so. But I think for many of you, you're just going to be very direct, especially in the ethers and communicating. Especially some of you could be picking up a tower moment pending for DMs. Now, I do think DMs are really looking at the bigger picture here. Now, like I said, Juno is going to be moving retrograde, I believe, this year. I'll have to look at the key dates as she transitions through signs. The first thing I'm seeing is something to do with Juno. I'm also sensing there is something of the past that they're wanting to return to, because we do have the arrow of Sagittarius moving to the past. And I do think that they're really looking to the past at this point, but they're trying to have courage. They're trying to be that Jupiter energy. That's what I'm getting here. There could have been some kind of revelation, really, that things that were offered were maybe quite small, like not really reaching their full potential of germination. So there's sadness of things that did not turn out, but they're also looking at small offerings. And I'm going to pull a clarifier on that because I think this is more so on their side of the fence of the behavior and how they directly were reacting. So I do feel they were hoping things could go slow, but they might have actually kind of changed that up a bit. But there definitely is a desire to offer yet again and to be open to this. I also feel there could be a big component to do with cash. For some, they can be battling over a cash component in the karmic dynamic. Now, like I said, that karmic dynamic does not have to be a physical relationship. For some, this can be wanting to change jobs, getting pay rises. For some, it could be divorces and, issues surrounding money relating to exes and the new chapters they had, maybe even towers. This also could be to do with a current karmic relationship or a workplace. But whatever that karmic related dynamic is, there is money and there is really, something that they're really not happy about, or work and no play. And maybe a delay, but they're definitely wanting to do things in a healthy fashion. The individual they could be dealing with maybe shows poker face energy, but can be quite flighty and temperamental, and therefore they're trying to be very cautious of how they deal with that. I do feel there's a big wrap up this month. We're coming through with the world. We're also coming through with maybe this person having some spiritual advice from someone that they deeply, deeply respect. This also could be a professional individual. It could be a coach. It could be a bank. It could be a therapist. But whoever this person is, it feels they're getting advice from this practitioner. And this could be really aiding them in dealing with their stress levels. It also could be a very, very close friend. I do think they're going to be talking about the conflict and what the interferences are and how they spiritually can liberate themselves out of this. I do think in the end, what it is going to mean is they're going to sit with it. They're going to be thinking about it, but they are moving into the Emperor energy. I do think this does relate to the relationship with Divine Feminine. Somebody is manipulating this person here and they're fed up. They're really tired of it. You could be getting some information through the grapevine. I also feel they could be hearing things through the grapevine. This could be to do with the past individual. I do think they're looking at it going, okay, I'm going to have to sit on this info. I'm going to have to deal with this on my own. If they did go quiet, it could be because they're wanting to handle this situation on their own, to really prove to themselves that they can wrap a karmic cycle up. There also could be a move of home for some of them, or again, I keep getting a family environment. Yeah, this is a wrapping up of a situation. I also feel they've had word from an individual potentially that is very attracted to divine feminine. There also could be old jealousy that is coming up to do with you and another individual. I see this person very quietly moving towards you. Yeah, I definitely see a breakup with a karmic situation. The frustration divine feminine is going to have is some of this is being done in the dark. Some of this is occurring at a drop of a hat, and I do feel it's because of your feelings. I really want to clarify this here. I'm going to get a ruin cast before we wrap this up. I'm getting this feeling as though there's going to be a bit of a hiccup where it does come to reconciliation energy, but I don't get that as a negative thing. So I'm going to quickly tidy these up. I want to pull a ruin cast out. I may reshuffle the deck and try and get some more information on this, because your overall reading looks like a spiritual upgrade. I definitely see them dealing with challenges. I see them getting advice. This could be from superiors. It could be from somebody who is professional. Yeah, down to a law. You get my gist. But what I do get is there's something cropping up at the moment. They're definitely feeling as though divine feminine's pulling back. And because you're quiet, it's almost like, look, you don't want to negotiate, you don't want to argue. Some of you don't even want to know maybe what some of these dramas have been or why things went the way they went. It's almost like it's too late. That's what I'm hearing. But the too late can be due to the fed up frequency, not necessarily that it is actually too late. Let's put that at the crown. We have a dropped card. Yeah, okay. What is this conflict? Let's find out what this conflict is. Is this a no or is this a delay? Because the love is here. There is love. Okay, the first question. What do we need to know about the karmic? What do we need to know about the karmic situation, place that is hidden from us? Makes me feel a bit seedy even tuning into it, honest. It's almost anxious. Okay, 2 cards fell. Okay, this was going to be addressed prior to Christmas and New Year's. They're making reference to this particular card always, especially in the context of like holidays and things to that degree. This card always resonates with me on the notion of Christmas holiday. So I get a secondary message, so to speak. It's in reverse at the moment. So I feel that divine feminine and divine masculine, that there's something to do with the karmic situationship here in the union. Now, there could have been a situation where both parties here felt inevitably you guys are going to end up together, but spiritually, it could be that you're feeling, okay, where is this happy vibe? Is this going to take me to my happiness? What would I need to do in the circumstance of this? I do feel also divine masculine relating to a karmic situationship. It was supposed to wrap up prior to New Year's and it hadn't. And so this is kind of shifting divine feminine's viewpoint of the entire situation. Okay. Now, let's have a look at what else we need to know, please. What does Divine Feminine need to know? Okay, hey, yeah, there is a change in direction here. There could be very intense energy that you're getting. They're also saying make sure whatever you're going into that you have your patterns and your habits in hand, like under control. Pay attention, especially if this is a new direction you're moving in, because there could be extremities. And these extremities can be maybe moving into a new cycle with a different individual for some of you. But I also feel there has been extreme tension, and some of the choices that some of you could be making is based on the pressure points potentially, plus how much stress maybe you energetically have been under during this time. Okay, what's hidden? Well, cards, I'm honestly, something's going to surprise you really badly. It just feels quite shocking. It's like it's coming out of nowhere. It's going to shock you. I have not had this happen in ages. There's something, it feels like a tower moment, but I feel that the tower moment is causing a door opening. So although it might at the time go like, oh my God, it's sort of like it is gonna, it's gonna turn out for the best. Okay, they're asking you to be very, very, very realistic. I do think what's hidden is this person's emotions, and I feel spiritually because you're moving forward, you're ascending. I feel this is actually triggering divine masculine. There could be an anxiousness to do with a feeling of losing you, and apprehension to do with that. Okay. Some of you are intuitively feeling that this karmic situation has gone on too long. Okay, some delayed feelings are going to come up here. Okay, I do feel for some of you, if there has been a message that you sent through to divine masculine, I do see this individual reading it. I do think they're mapping out a path forward. There could have been a statement piece some of you have made to this person. I do think you're going to get some communication in. Some of you also can be talking about external influences and betrayals, but you're wanting to get to the root cause of things. You're wanting transparency. Those of you that have, this could be like a family member, a child. I feel that this individual may be spending time with the other person, and I do feel some gossips coming through. But it could be something about you, divine feminine, and it's being fed back to DM for those of you that share children. I'm hearing the term resistance is futile. That there is going to be a tower moment, but it is going to be to the benefit of us. Some of you are feeling this person's never going to change. They're never going to let the tower fall, but the tower's falling. Even if there is a delay, there is going to be a great deal of healing with this. And the person is going to see why universe had to intervene to aid them. Okay. This person's having wicked dreams about you. I do see there could be a showdown with a karmic individual, but I also feel there could be a showdown between divine feminine and divine masculine. I will love you and leave you. If you haven't seen the masculine, feminine, and karmic update, go through and have a look. We do cover it weekly. I'll also come back during the week, hopefully, and give you an energy update. And I will see you for the next Super Chats should you wish to join us. Take care. Tell me the gossip of what comes through for your twin flame path this week and how you have been handling the energies. I'd love to hear from you.